Want to watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months. Yo, what up, brothers? It's the director. Chargers fans. Well, I would certainly say that the Los Angeles Chargers have been in a bender in 2022, trading for Khalil Mack, acquiring J.C. Jackson. I do think we are breaking some habits as an organization in Los Angeles, taking more risks, reaping more rewards, and I really love it, man. That cultural shift, Brandon Staley, it really does feel like this team is throwing it all down for the 2022 season. You know what? This has really opened up a lot of fans' eyes in regards to a potential draft day trade. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibilities because, you know, it has happened before. The Chargers trading up for guys like, you know, Melvin Gordon and Kenneth Murray in recent seasons. Could we see it happen again in 2022 with the Chargers loading up for an honestly, you know, pretty big postseason push? This roster looks absolutely ridiculous and they may not be done yet. Can we do it again? I do think it's on the table for the Chargers. But here is the issue, right? Draft picks, their value, and especially trading draft picks, it's a complicated sea to navigate. One that I would say, you know, when it comes to us fans, is hard for us to interpret as to what is realistic or not. So I'm going to take a stab at it today, guys, kind of, you know, give it my best shot at explaining kind of how it works, highlighting some possible scenarios as we try to make sense of this trade value jarble. It should be a lot of fun, man. Today I got 5 different draft day scenarios in terms of trade that we could see the Chargers exercise in the 2022 NFL draft. Well, guys, before we do get started, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot, as well as question in the comments before we do get started. Is there a draft prospect in this year's draft that you would be willing to sacrifice 2 first-round picks in order to acquire? EKWONU, Sauce Gardner, let me know in the comment section below. With that, guys, let's kick off. Lights, camera, action. 5 realistic trade day scenarios for the Chargers in the NFL draft. Let's go ahead and kick things off with a couple of things to note, right? The Chargers, yes, are in win now mode, so I do think trading up for a big talent could certainly pay off in terms of, let's say, like the Cincinnati Bengals last year. A lot of us thought they were crazy for taking, you know, Jamar Chase, and you know what? It turned out to be the right call. They made their way to the Super Bowl, albeit they did not win. Still, it was a huge boost for that team. The Chargers do, however, do need a right tackle, right guard. The right side of that line continues to cause nightmares, keep Chargers fans up at night. That is something they're going to need to address. But I do need to point out that, at least in my own opinion, at pick number 17, unless we get really lucky and a guy like, let's say, Charles Cross falls to us, whoever we pick after that, if we do stick at 17, could be considered a reach. So this also does open the door for the Chargers in the sense that maybe they do want to trade down. So before we do get into the nitty-gritty with the 5 different trade scenarios that we do have up our sleeves, because I do need to briefly kind of explain how draft picks and stuff are valued, kind of how very vague, okay, because this can definitely get a little bit complicated. Think of the NFL draft as a game, right? Each team has a certain number of pieces in this game, and each piece is worth a certain amount of points, as you guys can kind of see here on the chart. Some, you know, pieces are worth more than others, and I kind of like to make it simple in terms of using like dollars as a reference to these points, right? It makes, you know, it very easy to understand trades. For example, you wouldn't trade a pick worth $215 for one that's only worth $150. It just kind of doesn't make sense. So keep this in mind as we continue on into the video, and you guys can kind of tell what the Chargers are looking at us in terms of value. They're at pick number 17. It's worth $950. They do not have a second round pick. In round 3, it's worth $195. Kind of easy to kind of see, you know, if you can mix and match some of these picks with other teams, maybe you can pull off a draft day trade, okay? And last thing I'll say in regards of this is a rule of thumb when it comes to trading future picks, because you are going to see that in today's video. Future picks in terms of value, you can't set a number on them like you can here, right? Because the draft order is set. Rule of thumb for me, at least from what I've heard, and let me know if it's a little bit different in the comment section below. From what I've heard, you take the value from the middle pick of the round. So for example, in round 1, it would be whatever pick 16 is worth, because there are 32 picks. And in this case, pick 16 would be worth $1,000. Okay, so let's get that out of the way real quick. That's kind of how it works, a vague explanation of how it works. And I did use this algorithm, this example, this chart, in order to pull off some of these trades you're going to see in these scenarios in this video. Okay, so with that, guys, let's ramp up to our scenario 1. The Chargers looking to bolster up this team, make the postseason, dare I say it, the Super Bowl. There is a player in their crosshairs that they are looking to acquire and help make that dream come true. In our first scenario, scenario 1, we're going to be talking about trading up for EKWONU, Sticky Icky. And this would be a big one, man, right? I mean, you know, we can all say that EKWONU, like, hugely talented tackle coming into the draft, right? One of the best. A lot of people are saying him and Neal are neck and neck. If the Chargers are intensely serious about solving the right side of that line, this could be a big trade that's, you know, at least in their notes on the table for draft night. Hey, man, if, you know, Ikem, if he really is our guy, if we get more data in, this might be our right tackle of the future. Let's go out there and get him, okay? The issue is he is projected to go top 5. So in this example, he falls past 4. The Chargers do decide to pounce. And underneath that, you guys see the little blue arrow up there? That's going to be what's being exchanged. So in this scenario, the Chargers will be sending pick number 17 in round 1, 214 in round 6, and a 2023 first-round pick. So that's 2 first-round picks. And in exchange, the New York Giants at pick number 5 are going to send that pick over, as well as pick number 67, which is their 3rd-round pick. That's a lot, man. 2 first-rounders. This is kind of, you know, one of the answers I was trying to get at with my question at the top of the video. Is there any player you'd be willing to give up 2 firsts for? I would say Icky definitely falls into that range for me, right? And in this instance, the Chargers, man, bet big on their offensive line, once again solidifying it for years to come. Having both tackles, too, as you guys notice here on the notes, on rookie deals for the next 2 to 3 seasons. That's a big financial break, man. Like, when it comes to paying these top-tier tackles in the NFL, I mean, sure, their payday comes eventually. But for these 3 to 4 seasons where we've got Rashawn Slater and then potentially Icky, you know, on contract on a rookie deal, that's going to give the Chargers a lot more breathing room in order to try, you know, maybe sign other guys or save up to pay a Justin Herbert. It does add some flexibility financially, which is definitely something of value. It's kind of like the little brother of the rookie quarterback contract discount, right? The little brother, because tackle definitely is another one of those positions that can get really, really pricey down the road. Now, of course, you know, we know, you know, Herbert would be in good hands as he continues to grow into a top 5 quarterback with Icky and Slater on the outside protecting him, and he's probably going to develop into a top 5, top 3 quarterback with that kind of protection. This does show a massive investment in Herbert and this offense going forward. So this is definitely one I've seen on the web, people talking about, you know, oh man, what would it take to go out there and get EKWONU? Definitely, this is probably what it's going to take, though. At least 2 first-round picks. We're going to throw in a 6 as well to get the Giants' first-rounder and a 3rd-round pick. Again, the numbers make sense there. Would the Giants also give up a 3rd? It's possible because they are getting 2 first-round picks, which is a pretty huge haul. But at the same time, this is in the realm of what it would look like. And at the bottom, you guys are also going to notice where it says grade. This is just kind of like my sense, my feel on if this were to go down, if I would like it, you know. So I would give this one a grade of 6.5 out of 10, right? Trading a first-round pick is a big gamble. Trading 2 first-round picks is a massive gamble, right? But if Icky is the real deal and the Chargers feel like he could catapult this offense in terms of protection, in terms of giving Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, more time to find an open target, I could back this trade, okay? So EKWONU, people have been talking about it. This is what it would take in order to go get him in the first round. In scenario 2, we're going to talk about trading up for Derek Stingley, cornerback out of LSU. This one, once again, guys, and I did cover this in a video not too long ago. This has been a popular name amongst Chargers fans since our head coach Brandon Staley visited LSU to witness him on his pro day. Now, him and, Derek Stingley and Brandon Staley, man, Staley, these guys definitely got to exchanging some friendly words, some words of encouragement, some words that definitely get Chargers fans excited at the potential of him joining the Los Angeles roster. And honestly, the thought of, Stingley joining this already stacked defense holds insane potential. Stingley, he's one of those guys that can definitely make a huge difference on anybody's team, but when you talk about the Chargers specifically, things get a little bit ridiculous. Now, if you guys watched my video on if the Chargers are gunning for Derek Stingley, I also did explain why Stingley is a fall candidate. Of course, he has the injury issue. There was worry about his development through his last 2 seasons at LSU. I think that's all being, blown out of proportion a little bit. Still, I think it does offer potential for Derek Stingley to fall a little bit, and I think there's a spot that the Bolts would be willing to play ball, okay? So in this scenario, the Chargers are willing to send pick number 17 in round 1, 236 in round 7, and a 2023 second-round pick to the Jets, who do hold pick number 10. They're also going to throw in pick 111 in round 4 in order to swap with the Chargers. Again, we're going back to that chart that we're looking at. This trade does make sense. And in terms of, why the Jets would be willing to do this, the Jets could be looking to hoard more capital, and more future picks by trading down just 7 spots. They should still be able to grab a very quality player at pick number 17 while also future-proofing their team building going into 2023. This allows the Chargers to jump the Vikings and Commanders in the event of a Stingley fall. I do think if Stingley starts to fall into the teens, that he's not going to make it past the Vikings at pick number 12. Okay, I should say past 10. The Vikings are going to pick him up. They do need cornerback help desperately. And I think if the Chargers are going to play ball, if they're going to go out there, I think the Jets, maybe the Commanders, if they're willing to trade as well, would be the pick that they have to trade up to in order to get Stingley. The Chargers would bolster their defense to a clear top 3 status, in my opinion. Derwin, JC, Stingley, ASJ, that DB group is absolutely stacked, beyond stacked. And then you pair this, and I talked about this in that Stingley video, if you pair this with the lethal pass rushing duo of Bosa and Mack, the turnover potential is huge. Bad decisions are going to be made while those two are screaming at you. And having Stingley, JC, Derwin out there, it will be punishable by pick, okay? So my grade on this trade scenario, would I do it? I'm going to give it a grade of 4 out of 10. Stingley, to me, he fits everything I want, right? But again, as I'm saying, things are being blown out of proportion. I don't think it's as serious as people are saying, especially when it comes to development, but it is a red flag. And when it comes to trading up with that kind of draft capital, 2nd round pick in the 2023 NFL draft, I think those red flags are enough for me to try and avoid a trade like this. Still, it's one that, again, I would endorse if Brandon Staley went to LSU, looked at this guy and said, you know what, we're going to be locked down Los Angeles Chargers for the next couple of seasons. But grade 4 out of 10 for me. I think there's some other scenarios that I do like a little bit better. Scenario number 3, the Chargers, once again, making some moves, this time trading up once more for a player of the name Charles Cross, offensive lineman. Okay, I get it, guys. Trading, for an offensive lineman, not the most exciting position to trade up for. In terms of that, you want to trade up for Jamison Williams, Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner, but this trade would be huge, and it's one that, in my opinion, makes a little bit more sense than going after EKWONU. Now, Charles Cross is my last, we'll say, A-tier tackle on the board behind Neal and Ickey, right? So I'm saying, 1A, 1B, 1C. I think Charles Cross barely makes that list for me. And he impacts, or his impact carries huge potential on a team like the Chargers, who are in a win now mode. There's a decent chance that New Orleans, if you guys didn't know this, New Orleans in the last couple of weeks, they traded with the Philadelphia Eagles to jump the Chargers. Now they are the team choosing right before the Chargers. There's a very decent chance that New Orleans jumped us in order to get an offensive lineman, especially if Charles Cross starts to slide. I say, man, let's jump him right back. In this scenario, the Chargers are going to send pick number 17 in round 1 and a 2023 second round pick. Once again, the Chargers throwing down that second round pick in order to bring in a guy that helps right now. The Minnesota Vikings would then send pick number 12 in round 1, as well as a 2023 third round pick. So in this case, the Chargers and the Saints are swapping their second and third round picks in order to make this happen. And I like this, man. Okay, I feel like the Chargers and the Vikings, they have been linked as potential trade partners already. I think there was some sort of Vikings podcast. There's, jarble and rumor going around that if the Chargers are interested, they're one of those teams that they would be willing to trade down with. It's a great spot. It's a great spot if Charles Cross starts to slide. I think pick number 12 is a very safe and spot in terms of value and in terms of realism, in terms of, your trade partner to actually go and get. Now, in terms of both of these teams' draft picks, I was trying to find a way to make this work with swapping picks this season, but, the Minnesota Vikings don't have all, 7 rounds. The Chargers don't have all 7 rounds, so it made a lot more sense to swap 2 future picks to make this happen. I do think Vikings fans would be pretty happy with this, having 2 second-round picks rather than a second and a third in 2023. The Chargers, once again, in this scenario, find their future right tackle, this time in Charles Cross. He's a dominant pass protector, and I do think that he would definitely give the Chargers, fans something to help them sleep at night in terms of protecting Justin Herbert. He would be a fantastic addition to this team, and one I would certainly say is worth swapping a second and third for in 2023. The one red flag I do have to bring up about Charles Cross, though, is that there are concerns about him starting at right tackle. This man has been a left tackle for the longest time, so the potential of him switching to the right side, of course, on the right side, you do want to see more run blocking, you do want to see pass protection as well, but he grades out a lot better as a left tackle. Still, I think his upside at right tackle is still much higher than guys like Trevor Penning, or Raymond and stuff like that. He's a very, very good player. I do think trading up for him in this instance would be a good idea. As you guys can see by my grade there, 8 out of 10. In terms of capital, value, and need for the Chargers, I would 100% be on board for this trade. And I do think it's one that makes a lot of sense for Chargers and Vikings fans. Next up in scenario number 4, the Chargers in the first trade down scenario are going to be in talks with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is, again, one that I kind of read about at least a couple of months ago, actually. This has been talked about for a while because the Pittsburgh Steelers desperately need a quarterback. And the Chargers at pick number 17 in a unique draft where it's, the quarterbacks aren't expected to go as high as they have been in the past. The Chargers may be in a position where they can trade down with a team like Pittsburgh so they can go get their quarterback of the future. Of course, they do have Mitch Trubisky there right now, but if I'm the Steelers, I'm still looking in to bring some young talent to compete with Mitch, and also develop to be your eventual starter not too long down the road. Now, the Chargers, in my opinion, at pick number 17, they may miss out on top tackles, right? Taking another guy at 7. So let's say Charles Cross, Evan Neal, EKWONU, all those guys are gone. If they decide to stick around at 17 and they know they need to take an offensive lineman, if that is the plan, we're taking a right tackle or a right guard in the 2022 NFL draft. If they take that guy at pick number 17 with those other names off the board, I think you may be reaching by quite a bit. I think that's my honest opinion. And in this case, I think the Chargers might be able to dig themselves out of that hole just a little bit in terms of getting more value for those players by trading down with a QB-needy team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So in this instance, the Chargers will be trading away pick 17 in round 1, 123 in round 4, by acquiring, the Pittsburgh's number 20 pick in round 1 and 84 in round 3. So what the Chargers are essentially doing in this trade scenario is turning their 4th rounder into a 3rd rounder, right? And the Chargers at pick number 20, let's say their new first round pick at pick number 20, they could feel a lot safer taking an offensive lineman at pick 20. A guy like Penning, Kenyon Green, I think these guys, more than likely one of them is going to be available, and you should be able to take them with a little bit more value at that spot. And in addition, they also turn their 4th into a 3rd round pick, right? In this scenario, they could use that 3rd for like a speedy wide receiver or a cornerback. I think this one does make a lot of sense. And I'm going to give this one a grade of 7 out of 10. Right? I think this was one I do like a lot, but I do think there's a little bit of room for improvement as well, because taking offensive line does feel a lot better at pick number 20. However, when it comes to trading down, I mean, I know this is only, what, 3 spots. I still would try to target a little bit more draft capital with a different team if I am able. If there's nobody else available, I still do like this trade down scenario quite a bit. To wrap this video up, guys, spoiler alert, this is by far my favorite trade scenario. Trading up, trading down, doesn't matter. This is my favorite scenario in the entire video. In scenario number 5, the Chargers will be trading down with the Green Bay Packers. Okay, the Packers. These guys are in a good spot. They've got 2 picks in the first round in 2022. But if you guys remember just weeks ago, blockbuster trade, the Green Bay Packers send Davante Adams to the hated rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders. And what has this caused? You know, in Green Bay, these guys need a stud wide receiver big time. These guys, I know it's been a long time since they've drafted a wide receiver in the first round, but this is the year, man. You guys got 2 first-round picks. Go out there and get some weapons for Aaron Rodgers, who you begged and pleaded and kissed his feet to have him stay in Green Bay. Go get him a guy in the draft this season. Now, the issue is the Green Bay Packers, they have what? Picks number 22 and I think 28 at this point. At those picks, you could certainly say that a guy could be available in that range that the Packers are looking for. But if they're looking for something specific, because again, they're trying to supplement, you know, production from a guy like Davante Adams, they may have a guy in the back of their brains that they want. Okay. I think a guy like, you know, Drake London, Burks, these guys would be insane paired with Aaron Rodgers. And that 7 team specifically, I think those guys could be available, as well as maybe Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, right? I think the Chargers at pick number 17 have a really good range as far as value. Let's say, you know, if you wanted to trade into the top 10 to get Garrett Wilson, to get even Drake London, who's being touted as a top 10 guy right now, maybe that's too sweet for the Green Bay Packers. But pick number 17, that might make more sense for the Packers in terms of value. So in this trade scenario, the Chargers are going to send their first-round pick, number 17, and their 6th-round pick, number 195, to the Green Bay Packers in exchange for pick number 28, their first-round pick, and 59, their second-round pick. Surprise! You guys see it on the screen, but still, surprise! I was actually gunning for Green Bay's second first-round pick in 2022, and that would be pick number 28, not pick number 22. And I think this is a great deal on both sides, right? Green Bay secures their future wideout while also keeping their other first-round pick, their mid-first-round pick, their higher first-round pick, right? And the Chargers, in exchange, they get their second-rounder back, the pick that we traded away to get Khalil Mack. Now we're back in the second round, and we're in a better position for ourselves to go out there and get an offensive lineman without the fear of reaching. And at this spot for the Chargers, I'm talking guys like Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson, even Bernard Raymond, right? These are great values at pick number 28 at this spot. So I love everything about this. I do think this is a great win, a big win for both parties in this example. You know, they got their guy, they got their wide receiver. They still have another pick to maybe go bolster that defense who lost some pieces this season. And the Chargers get back into the second round while also getting a better value in that offensive lineman pick late in the first round. My grade for this is a solid 10 out of 10. I'm taking this deal 10 out of 10 times. This could be the plot for draft day 2, starring Kevin Costner, right? Tom Telesco finessing the league, getting, you know, Mac as well as your second round pick back. I want my picks back, and I want them all back. Dang it. You know, those pancakes eating. You guys know the movie. I think this would be a great move, man. I do think it's one that makes a lot of sense, and one that I 100% would endorse the Chargers trading down to around that range to get a value in an offensive lineman. And I think, you know, a lot of these, you know, trade scenarios that you guys have been seeing in this video, I do think they also represent, you know, like a general look at something similar, right? So maybe it's not the Packers that we trade with, but I like trading down in the range of 25 to 30. I think that's a great spot to pick up an offensive lineman. In terms of value with the Steelers, trading down around, what, 20 to 23, I like being able to turn a 4th round pick into a third-round pick. In terms of trading up for Charles Cross, I think I like this one the best out of all the ones to trade up for because, you're only swapping picks, giving the Vikings, a second-round pick in exchange for their third-round pick. That makes sense to me a lot. And at the same time, all these picks, especially in trading down, makes more sense for trying to get guys at a value, right? Getting Charles Cross at pick number 12 in this instance would be a great value if he starts to slide. Derek Stingley at pick number 10, it's a little bit steeper, but at the same time, you're getting, in my opinion, a top 10 talent, at pick number 10, which is a very, very good thing. So I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Some of these trade scenarios, maybe some that you're a favorite. To wrap this video up, my bottom line in the trade scenario topic, okay? Based on my opinion and outlook on this year's draft in particular, I would say that I am much more inclined to trade down this season, okay? The scenario with the Packers just makes a whole lot of sense to me. What a baller move it would be if Telesco was somehow able to get our second rounder back while also addressing offensive line in the same year. That second rounder could easily turn into, a year one contributor as well. We're talking like a fast wide receiver like Christian Watson or Sky Moore. Maybe a quality DB like Tariq Woolen. Or maybe we could even take a stab at David Ojabo for the future. The second round, right, opens up a lot of possibilities. And it makes a lot of sense for the Packers, too. And I will say, though, that I'm not against trading up either. If the Chargers feel that they're just a few pieces away from really taking a hard run at the Super Bowl, then I definitely support it. I just hope we don't have to give up too much to make that happen. But in my bottom line, my consensus opinion, trading down in this year's draft, if you're not going to stay put, if you are going to trade, because I think first and foremost, I think staying put is not a bad idea. I think you stay put, try and grab some value at 17. But if you are going to trade, in my opinion, I would rather trade down because I do think there's some good candidates underneath us. And I do think there's some good value to be had in terms of maybe trying to get your second round pick back as well. Well, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think of these draft day trade scenarios. Which one is your favorite? Type in the comment section below. And also let me know if there's any other players that you would be willing to give up 2 first-round picks in order to go inquire outside of EKWONU, of course, who we covered in this video. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time. And as always, bolt up and stay frosty. Come on, Green Bay. We've worked together in the past. You know you want to.